Thank you for coming on into the live and sharing your essence with me in this eternal moment of which we all share, an inextricable and inexorable part. Thank you for doing your part, for coming on in each and every day, and we'll do the same without wasting a single second of your time. Bada bing, bada boom, we go. So Bitcoin, about with the bounce off the 236 of this diagonal pitch fan, we've had price action in since January of this year, and also a rocket ship back to the point of control, went up $1,500 to that point, basically 6% move and then some. Let's go see if it's sustainable by looking at the liquidity on high block. What is this high block capital? Well, people lock their liquidity into the charts to get burnt to a crisp by the market maker for not using a stop loss, and we get to see where those crispy characters are. So let's do that now. Shout out to anyone that may watch this in the future. All right, so we have 204 million down in the range here of the 25,718 region, this little pool could get knocked out. The 50x longs here. There's also a 50x pool down at 25,490. So this could, they previously popped into, grab those 50x up in this induced range of the 218 million as they went into the resistance here. So imbalance to the tune of 6.35 billion to longs, so they could retrace back into the longs now that they grabbed some of these shorts that were induced on the drop down. So they go down to go up and go up to go down. Let's go see if the higher time frame pools don't change much, so we'll see where those stand. But on the 7-day time frame, you do have an imbalance up in the 26,750 region that we could keep going up to. So we could see this entirely grabbed up to the 26.8 region, started to wick into the 26.6 and sharply reversed to grab those 100xers of the longs. Could they continue higher? They very well could on the 7-day. If you go to the monthly also double digits up in the 26.8 region, and also up in the 28 if they choose to reclaim the entire amount here after previously taking out the double digits down sub 25k. When we start to expand our vision to the 3 and the 6 month, that's when you start to see the imbalance to the downside with $50 billion pools down below sub 24.2. This also becomes evident on the 6-month time frame with the 182 billion down at 24.3. As you go to the highest time frame of the 2 year, you see that large amount at 23.6, $248 billion that they could come back to without so much as a hesitation's notice. Back to the 7-day and going into the Binance chart. Back at the point of control here. All right, so where did we leave you yesterday? So we left you with a nice little idea here that played out and then some. We were talking about the pools up here in this vector candle. It exceeded expectations and then some, and bounced off of that for an SR flip and a continuation to the upside. Let's go see what we're looking at on Momentum Master. Link in the description for more. This is why we have you at hello for this, momentummaster.info. So you scroll down to features, toggle everything at your leisure, or you can turn on each component as they come into prominence. In this case, the stochastic array, never before seen formula with monitoring over 7 time frames and information over 32 different indicator values. You had that dynamic alert set to your phone. If you had it, you would have gotten that alert as you got into that level. And just like this Bitcoin bottom idea, you had the rocket ship appear, the 5s and the 6s for the 6 time frame exhaustion point. Exactly the same, kind of schematic wise, looks exactly the same because everything's fractal in nature. You drop down, you got these rocket ships. We were talking about the reclamation of the cloud on the 15. And sure enough, so this was here's where we streamed around here, and we talked about the reclamation bursting above and kind of holding the cloud. We held the cloud. Not only did we hold it for a good solid 30 minutes, you're getting these 5s to your phone, the cloud's flipping here, and sure enough, boom, to the upside. And that is why you don't need a guru. If you just have Momentum Master, you can do all this yourself. So for the most part, seeing how this closes on the higher time frame, we went over that last episode too, how this exhaustion across the time frames stretches to the higher time frame. And if you watch that higher time frame close with that elasticity overstretched, then you have the chance of it unfolding, coming to fruition, and we were looking at that cross-up event on the hourly, which played out. Now we're getting the cross-down event of the hourly, which means the suppression inbound. So you had about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours ago, that cross-down event lets you know that you're possibly coming back to kiss the cloud here. This pool is reclaimed, so we can delete this and start fresh. Let's go ahead and turn on the regular indicator. Momentum Master B. Okay. So let's go to the 12-hour. So previously in this drop out of this, we came back to the 0.5 of this and rejected back down. Now what are we going to do from here? The bearish trend-based fib levels at the 706 said nope, we need to purge some of the shorts, and they came up out of the 706 level at 24,909. Let's go ahead and take a look at that daily closing in 50 minutes. KD lines beneath the 50 level. Williams in a good position for a idea of a long. KD lines could come down some more beneath this 50. RSI above the money flow, suggesting the money flow could come back into prominence. Once again, the 3-day and the 5-day close in 49 minutes as well. You had previous bullish divergence on the money flow on the 3-day, triggering a stop loss hunt and then potentially peeling out. 5-day also in a position here. Williams on the 3-day and the 5-day all in a good alignment. So the 3-day and the 5-day starting to line up. The baselines need to start scooping up the price action to insinuate a reversal first. Getting some volume on the daily time frame coming in. More than the last 10 days, 200% of the last 10 days combined. If we go to the 22 reset to a manner here, could be starting to play out once again to the upside. 12-hour. As of this moment in the 12-hour time frame, you are meeting with resistance at the cloud. Once again, you had this cloud rejection point last Thursday, and then we came back down out of the cloud. We never reclaimed it. We hit the 0.5 equilibrium level and rejected out. Are we going to see a similar path for rejection here? We're coming back to, which level did we come back to? Let's see. Came back to the 618 here at the 26,564 region of this entire path to the downside here. Also happens to be the bearish trend-based super trend level. So at 26,564 we saw a solid wick rejection off the 12-hour time frame. Ideally you could see a continuation of this. The baselines did cross up on the 12-hour. We could see this holding as support and heading higher. If we take a fib retracement tool up to this impulse, take it to the equilibrium level, 25,736, can we see a reaction there, or are we going to deep retrace some more? This is the subtle support of the 12. The subtle support of the 12 could be continuing. 6-hour cloud is exhausted, nearly at that exhaustion point. Starting to reclaim the 6-hour cloud. Could be flipping that cloud. You got the volume starting to taper. You had a stop rise, stop hunt volume candle, and now you're seeing the volume taper here. Waiting for a re-injection perhaps. If you go to the 4-hour. 4-hour suggesting on the Williams that the Williams could come up a little bit more, so we could hold this, have a holding pattern back in the range here, and basically reset the 4-hour or bring this down for a double top scenario as we reclaim the 50 level of the RSI for the money flow and the RSI here, and the average of the Williams could come up in a manner here. Rarely do you see this separation between the Williams and the average of itself peel back instantly like that. So this could insinuate that it comes up a little bit more on the 4-hour time frame, even though you're extended on the stochastic. So this is where you would look to the lower time frame and that subtle higher time frame support. So we're starting to come back to the cloud here and the super trend level of the hourly. So do we see a reaction off of that cloud? That cloud level of the 618.25.542 would bring you down in this region. Do you see a reaction off of that cloud? 25.542 would also line up with so there is that pool at 25.490. I'd like to see 29.490, that 25x pool, get liquidated. And if that comes down to the 490, that would put you at the 6.5 or 6.6 region of this impulse out. Hourly time frame getting exhausted, but that suppression of the 4-hour is bringing this for a double bottom, and the Williams momentum starting to come down here on the hourly. $15-minute getting suppressed here alongside the higher time frame suppression. This is what these 3 time frames with the diamond is. The diamond is the higher time frame exhaustion, which we just saw was the 6 and the 4. So the 6 and the 4 exhausting out, but you have the subtle 12-hour and the 22 possibly activating. The liquidity does suggest that you could come back into these pools, most notably at 25.718. So coming down to the 21.718 region would sweep this range here of their liquidity. It'd be nice to see a little bit of a reaction off the golden pocket here. Then you have golden pocket to golden pocket, and that could be a nice trend-based fib level. If we use this and project as if that will be the case, you can do impulse to the retrace zone, and then you'd be looking for a continuation off of that 236 entry model of the 25.911 region. So if we go down to this region and see ourselves with the bounce, then you look for these 27.8 possibilities up here. All right, so yeah, that's about it. We're basically just seeing where the hourly gets suppressed down to, and we're going into the daily candle close. If this continues to go down during the Asian Open, there could be winding up for a pitch to toss London to the upside. We will see the 4-hour overbought here on the stochastic, but the Williams average looking to possibly come up a little bit higher and do a double top scenario on the 4-hour. 6-hour, once again, KD line's about to cross, but for that last little burst could come up. Williams looking to continue to rise on the 6-hour with the subtle support of the 12-hour also opening up here, starting to rise. Needs to close above the level of the 25.843 region of the cloud to be continued bullish. And that is my story for BTC. We're looking for that retrace to the 618 at 25.542 and see what the reaction will be. Going to the total, crypto total market cap, cloud still insinuating bearishness and rejecting off the 786 and possibly coming lower to the 1 level. This could be a dead cat bounce to stop out the shorts before continuing lower. The overall total market cap sentiment not the same as BTC, not even getting above that range, and the cloud insinuating more downside. Total 3 very much the same. Cloud still opening up to the downside here, possibly bleeding out to the 300 billion region, losing about 15 billion in alt money, possibly speaking, and possibly coming lower in the future if the sentiment continues. Going to the BTC dominance taking over as the alts bleed out, as Bitcoin steals the show once again. Altcoins have no use case scenario. In most cases, they're shilled by influencers without even a CertiK audit. So watch what type of altcoins you trade and make sure there's nothing to gain by the influencer who is shilling it. And let's go to the USDT dominance. USDT dominance previously burst up to the 786 region as people got stopped out of their trade and then immediately re-entered into that burst, inverse to what Bitcoin's doing. If we go ahead and invert this chart, it will look very similar to what Bitcoin was doing. As people insert themselves into Bitcoin, this drops. As they get kicked out into USDT, it rises. So we could be seeing an SR flip of this daily 8% level and possibly continue to knock people out into their trades into the region of the 9% region, meaning more people could get stopped out into their USDT, causing the dominance to rise. This coincides with the projection to the downside for total as people sit on the sidelines wondering what to do. Dollar. Dollar still steadily rising, had a little bit of a retrace here, getting 6 time frames oversold, possibly looking to reclaim this range and head up to the fair value gap ranges up here. All right, the super trend level holding since back in July 12th. We also had rocket ships on the dollar back here in July 13th, projecting this double bottom idea as we double topped on Bitcoin. All right, so that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Ladies and gents, we're looking for that retrace and the reaction of London. Looks like it came into the 796 region. We stopped out some of these. We did not come back to that 204 million pool just yet. So look to sweep some of these larger long players here, these pools that opened up into resistance. Watch them clear and see if an order block gets activated, similar to when we reclaimed the cloud. You can only look at your oscillators and see what it does at that zone, if you will, range. And that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Short but sweet and to the point and accurate. So thank you for coming on into the live and sharing your essence with me in this eternal moment of which we all share an inextricable and inexorable part. Thank you for doing your part, for coming on in each and every day. We'll do the same, bringing the fire, the action, the precision, all that fun stuff, and we'll catch you on the flip side for NQ live trading later tonight, New York Open. Catch